Hey everyone, it's Fitz from my home office with another daily delivery, and boy, is there a lot going on in Big 12 and Kansas State sports news. Let's get after it. Make sure you're subscribing to our newsletter. It comes out at least once a day. It's down there in the middle of the front page. Just type in your email address, get subscribed, no obligations. We will send you the headlines as they happen. And everyone that was getting the newsletter was on top of all the headlines today. K-State has a new schedule, the Big 12 is playing, and so much is going on. Get on that newsletter. It might come like 3 times today. A lot going on. Well, as I said, Bob Bowlesby and the Big 12 Conference announced on Wednesday the Big 12 is a go. They're going to play some football. It's a beautiful thing. They're going to try to play some football. Let's be more accurate there. They're going to go ahead and advance into the training camp period of football and see how it goes. So now we know the Power 5 totals. The Pac-12, Big 10 are out. They decided not even to try football. They have canceled all fall sports, hoping for the spring. Meanwhile, the SEC, ACC, and Big 12, making a majority of the Power 5, are going to attempt to play football this season. And as I said earlier, the Big 12 released the schedule. Here's K-State's. Zach, go ahead and just bring up K-State's schedule right now. Let's get after it. Look, they lost all 3 of their non-conference games. They need new non-conference games. It was announced last night, Arkansas State, the Red Hawks out of the Sun Belt, will come into Bill Snyder Family Stadium on September 12th to play the Cats. Then there is an off week before Big 12 opens, and K-State, boom, gets to go to Oklahoma to open up that schedule. You can see how the rest of the schedule breaks, but it's interesting that they have that bye week after the one non-con game, a bye week after 3 Big 12 games. Then they'll play 3 more Big 12 games with another bye week. And they conclude that Big 12 schedule December 5th with Texas coming to Kansas State. That's right, the Longhorns and Wildcats will tangle at Bill Snyder Family Stadium to wrap up the Big 12 schedule, the regular season schedule, and a date that is usually reserved for the Big 12 championship game. That game's been moved back 2 weeks, and that December 12th weekend can also be for rescheduled games. A lot of gaps in there to make sure they get through this football schedule this season, that all the teams can play at strength as best they can, even if they have some virus infections. All those protocols and those thresholds for when a team can move a game or ask to have a game moved will be announced later by the Big 12. So we'll some clarity on what happens with red shirts and freshmen playing and all those eligibility rulings still to come from the NCAA, and what happens to the Big 10 and Pac-12 players who just don't get a play. Do they get eligibility back if they don't play a spring season, which I find highly doubtful. Well, camp is the next step, as I mentioned, and make sure you subscribe to GoPowercat.com because we're having a 50% off sale. It's a great deal. K-State fans, sign up for GoPowercat. Football's happening, 50% off your annual subscription today at GoPowercat. It might be going on tomorrow too. Get in there, get it done. You want great team coverage to go with recruiting coverage? Well, we've upped our recruiting staff and we're committed to team coverage as always. Subscribe to GoPowercat.com. We're not going anywhere. We're proven, we're reliable, and we're the K-State fans' choice for serious coverage of the Wildcats. Bob Bowlesby said they talked to a bunch of their medical board, their people that they're consulting on COVID-19, and they decided to go ahead. But he wanted to be very clear. They're going ahead with camp at this point. They're going to take that next step forward and open up camp and see what happens. And hopefully they'll get to that non-conference game, that one non-conference game that all teams have scheduled. He said it has provided a great deal of clarity for the moment for teams, coaches, fans, and players, but that does not mean it's certainty that they're going to play. Here's Big 12 Commissioner Bob Bowlesby.
Frankly, we found that what we thought was golden 60 days ago is garbage today, and it's an ever-evolving environment, and we will find ourselves with bumpy spots during the fall. There isn't any doubt about that, but I think we're very well prepared to deal with those things, and so I feel good about the decision going forward. I believe our board feels good about it, and I think most importantly, we have some clarity for our coaches and our student athletes.
Well, that will do it for today's daily delivery. If you are a GPC VIP, get on over to Wabash Station and get into the discussion of K-State sports with your GoPowercat's staff and your fellow K-State fans.